to end this video, I'm going to try to do that thing where you lift yourself up in your chair. Fuck. Wait. What's up, fellas? You guys have brought it to my attention that TikTok might not be around for the longest time. And right now, I pretty much have all my cards on the table at TikTok. I only have like 2.2K on YouTube, 7K on Instagram. I'm not even sure if those numbers are correct, but the point is, all my followers are on TikTok, so I'm going to start making more YouTube videos. But the only problem is I don't really have that much time to edit, and I'm not that good at editing, so like I can't make the highest quality videos. But I'm going to make these type of videos where it's just me sitting in front of a camera, talking about a topic. Today's topic is genetics. Genetics is something that a lot of beginners don't really like use it as a factor when they're saying their goals. And I did the same thing. We think that whatever we see on Instagram or YouTube is achievable naturally when it's not. But you should shoot for the stars, so there's nothing wrong with thinking that you can become Superman, all natural, just taking creatine. There's nothing wrong with that idea. But I'm just here to tell you that, yeah, it's not going to happen. You're not going to look like David Lade naturally. You're not going to look like Dylan McKenna naturally. And it sucks, but it's the truth. Now, what is achievable naturally? A lot, actually. Like, if you lift naturally for like 6 to 10 years, that's probably about how long it takes to actually maximize your genetic potential. In your first 2 years of lifting, that's when you'll make the majority of your gains. It's called the law of diminishing returns. So the more you lift, the harder it is to put on new muscle. You've probably heard the term newbie gains. That's pretty much like, just because it's such a new stimulus to you that you'll grow like a weed the second that you start lifting. So skinny guys, like, you'll notice gains very quick. Now, how do you know if you have good genetics? Most people who have good genetics are athletes when they're young. That's pretty much the best way. Like me, I'd put my genetics like somewhere in the middle. When I was little, I played baseball, basketball, and football. I was always the tallest, but that doesn't really mean anything. I was always very athletic. I'm not trying to brag, but like I was usually one of the best on whatever team I played for. And then in high school, I focused purely on tennis. I know tennis is a sport that gets a bad rap, but like, because like a lot of kids on our tennis team, they were just playing it for their Harvard applications. But I was pretty good at tennis. Some people who know me from high school tennis could attest to that. And then the other side of genetics is your proportions, which that doesn't really have anything to do with athletics. Like how symmetrical your chest is, your shoulder to waist ratio. And I feel like in that sense, I have pretty good genetics. When it comes to proportions and symmetry, I have terrible ab genetics. That's... I picked the wrong parents for that. Yeah, so the two sides of genetics are your ability to put on size and your proportions. So let's look at David Lade. He's a really good example when you're talking about genetics. His genetics are perfect for proportions. And they're good for putting on size, but not that good. You saw him as a kid. He was like 5'10" and 90 pounds when he started lifting. He looked like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. That's how skinny he was. So yeah, that's what a lot of people use when they say that he's not natural. They say, look at how skinny he was as a kid, and it's true. Like, if you look at people like, have you ever seen Jay Cutler before he started lifting? He was huge. He looked like he's been lifting for 3 years before he started lifting. he said that the first time he stepped in his high school gym, he benched 315. His first time, he was just playing around with the weights, just threw up 315. Like, there are people who are on like 500 milligrams of test, lifting for 2 years, and they barely can do 315. And he did it without even lifting. So that's how crazy people's genetics can be. But if you don't have good genetics, don't be discouraged, because anyone can make gains. Anyone can grow their muscle bellies unless you have like some disorder like muscular dystrophy or something like that. So yeah, you shouldn't really focus on your genetics. You should just focus on yourself, because you can't compare yourself to other people. You can only get as big as you can be. So like for me, I just want to be better than I am now. You should be better than you are now. Or you should want to be better than you are now. Once we start focusing on other people, we start to get discouraged with ourselves. So like, lay off your Instagram Explore page. It showcases a lot of guys with top tier genetics that they paint a picture that it's just not achievable. And there's nothing wrong with admiring those guys. Like, I do the same thing. Because, yeah, it's motivational to look at people like that. But just don't get discouraged when you don't see the same results as them. So I cut this video short because I kind of started rambling there. But to end this video, I'm going to try to do that thing where you lift yourself up in your chair. Fuck. Wait. I don't think that you're supposed to do this with the back of the chair there. Fuck calisthenics. I'm out, boys.